Welcome back. Franco Mulakal, who was accused of raping a nun several times, has been acquitted by a Kottayam court. The investigation officer of this case has expressed shock and has assured that the verdict will be challenged in a higher court. According to the details of the verdict, the judge said that the court does not find Franco Mulakal guilty of the charges due to lack of evidence.
जो साडी लड़ाई सीगी जो असी पहले दिन कहा सीगा कि सानू गलत फसाया जा रहा है अज जो जुडिशरी के ऑर्डर के नाल हो गया है। बिशप जी ने पहले दिन ही कहा सीगा कि मैनू कोर्ट ते पूरा विश्वास है और मैनू जो जस्टिस है उत्थों ही मिले। कई बारी कोई आपस दे विच कोई एक दूजे नाल ईर्ष्या के कारण भी झूठे परचे दर्ज हो जाते हैं। जो साडा डिफेंस बेसिकली यही सीगा शुरू तो कि जदों असी शो कॉज नोटिस इशू किया उस तो बाद साडे खिलाफ परचे दर्ज होने शुरू।
With such a strong case in hand, with witnesses forthcoming, none of them turned hostile, we expected a very positive and favorable judgment till today morning. The prosecution and the investigation team is still not relieved of the shock. We still cannot understand why the judgment has come in favor of the accused.
It's really shocking, and I just tweeted also because I've been following this case. In fact, we had taken suo motu. I've also met the nun myself personally, visited her in Kerala, and I've seen what she has gone through for many years. I don't know how the court has taken this decision, but I'm shocked. And I would like to convey to the nun, the victim nun, that NCW is standing by her if she needs our help in any way. Pursuing the case in higher courts, we will be there standing by her.
Let's open this up. We have Srijit Panikkar and Kevin Matthews, both political analysts, joining us on the broadcast. Good evening to both of you. Mr. Panikkar, the investigation officer of the case has expressed shock and disbelief. He said it was a strong case. None of the eyewitnesses turned hostile. But then what went wrong when it came to convincing the court of the guilt?
Well, one of the problems here is that, this happened in a period between 2014 and 16. And the first complaint was raised, I think, in 2018. So they had already lost a valuable couple of years after the incidents had finished. I'm not saying that it started, but it finished. So the problem here is that there has to be a medical evidence which would substantiate the arguments raised by the petitioner, which unfortunately could not be taken here. So all they had were the witness accounts, and I think there were 39 witnesses from the side of the prosecution, and none of them defected even. But the problem here is that there was a ruling by the Supreme Court back in 2020 in a similar case, although it happened outside the church, and a two-judge bench, which was headed by, I think, Justice Ashok Bhushan, had given a ruling that even the victim statement, not just the witnesses, but even the victim statement in a rape case must be validated on 3 points or 3 aspects. One is that it has to be truthful. Second is that it has to be unblemished. And third, it has to be sterling. Sterling is the word that was used by the defense advocates today after winning the case, basically because they were able to break all the arguments that were presented before the court of law. So our courts of law are relying on evidences, and therefore they lost valuable, significant time in reporting the case. So I think one of the problems was the time that they took in reporting the case. And the other thing was that they initially reported that within the church system. I understand that they were actually raising this issue within various levels inside the church system, including the Pope. And only after that, they actually went to seek the help of the police. So the problem here is that there has to be a time-bound reporting of such cases. So the lesson that I have learned out of it, so many people are saying that this will deter a lot of people who are suffering similar fate from raising this issue in the future, basically because the courts went against them. I would ideally, ask them to take a lesson that they have to report it on a timely manner. And the second is that they will have to rely on the system, the enforcement system, the legal system, the police system that we have in the country, than relying on the internal machineries of the church for all these dispute resolutions.
Okay, let's also bring in Kevin Matthews. Kevin Matthews, a lot of people are of the belief that this does not prove innocence, but it does prove maybe the shoddy investigation, and like Mr. Srijit Panikkar was pointing out, the lapses when it came to reporting the case on time, because not just this particular victim but 3 other nuns had also leveled similar allegations, and there were massive protests against Franco Mullakkal. Of course, as far as the legal developments are concerned, it is a setback for that movement.
I understand that, but the thing is, at the end of the day, the law of the land has to prevail. And if, as Mr. Srijit said, if there are limitations within the law, then we should work about. So this came out in Nirbhaya case also. There was such conversations happening. But if there are limitations in the way the law, the legal system exists, the judiciary exists in this country, then we should think about it. But having said that, when there is a law of the land, when there is a system in place, it might not be the perfect system, but it's the best system we have, and we'll have to, stay put with that till we find something better. So
But there are higher courts, Srijit Panikkar. There are higher courts.
Yes.
Yes, there are higher courts. There are more legal options available, Mr. Panikkar.
Yeah, there are. I mean, I'm not saying that I am against the petitioner. I am with her. I understand their sentiments as well. I am standing by them. But the problem here is that, as I said, they lost valuable time in reporting this issue. And to the point that Kevin raised, we all know that there were some reformations that happened in the justice system, like, lowering the age of the culprit to 16 to get the higher punishment. But all that happened post Nirbhaya incident. You cannot bring a new law or legislation, and you cannot have a retrospective effect for that in a criminal justice system. So the problem here is that we will have to basically evaluate the current law, verdict which was given out to the petitioner, or to, in fair justice to Bishop Franco, based on the laws of the land that are currently prevailing. So in that case, they already have legal avenues. They can go for the appeal. But the problem here is that the sterling evidence, or the sterling nature of the account given by the witnesses, and also of the main accused, or the main petitioner, is very vital in all these cases. Basically, because although the witnesses did not defect, the problem here is that the sterling part is to be determined by the court of law. It's not actually determined by the prosecution. It is determined by the court of law based on the evidences that they bring before them. So even if all the statements are
all right, Mr. Panikkar and Kevin Matthews, that's all the time I have for this debate. Thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast with your views. We're moving on.